Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and as far as I know, no issues with NASCAR 21 Ignition over the last half hour since trying to test this stream out once again, or test the racing out once again. So hopefully we can get through the full 500 miles and 200 laps tonight in the Daytona 500. Got some good news, got some bad news. Good news, we can likely run this race. The bad news is there wasn't a patch between when I tried to test it this morning and right now. So I think it's just luck of the draw of randomly turning it on now. Kind of similar to last night when we tested it where it wasn't working for me when I got home from work. I turned the PlayStation off for a long period of time and I tested back out again last night at like 9 o'clock and it worked. So it's kind of it's really going to be day to day with NASCAR 21 Ignition on whether there is going to be streams or not. Other bad news. I was supposed to record gameplay for the NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode today. I was supposed to record the Daytona 500 there and the Daytona Road Course race, the first two races of the year, so that way those could be edited and premiered on Saturday and Sunday when I'm in Martinsville for the NASCAR Cup Series race weekend. Unfortunately, with that, because the game was glitching on me earlier this morning and I could not get even a 10-lap practice race in, I couldn't even get into the career mode either and get anything working there. So again, right now it is working. Kind of like last night where, I turned it off for a couple hours, turned it back on, and all of a sudden it was working perfectly fine. There was no patches in between then, just like there was last night. So I don't know, something wonky with the game. So it's going to be hard to schedule NASCAR 21 Ignition live streams going forward because until the game stops doing that every single day with me, I can't confirm, what game we're going to do when. But I will have specific start times once again, starting obviously tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as promised. If we were going to have a stream tonight, it looks like it's NASCAR 21 Ignition. We'll see if we'll be able to race COTA tomorrow night on the season mode. Worst case scenario, if we can't, maybe I can get the Daytona 500 in on the career mode, and at least you'll get to see NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode started on either Saturday or Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. But again, tomorrow night's stream will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, not sure if it's going to be at Dover with NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 or it is going to be at COTA on our custom schedule season. We'll just have to wait and see, but it will be one of those two races. Welcome everybody into the stream, by the way. William Perks, Ashton G, Michael Crane, Jackson Thomas, Terry Lewis, Joshua Rumsey, Cap 24. Welcome to the stream. So, as far as the super chat and like ads and monetization goes, that stuff is off tonight for some random reason. I was having an issue with that also this morning outside of NASCAR 21 Ignition. So I have to go through like the whole processing again, and which is unfortunate, but especially knowing that this could be one of the most viewed streams on the channel. Daytona 500 for NASCAR Heat 5 and NASCAR Heat 4 was as well. So that's a bummer for my sake that I'm not going to be getting paid for this stream, but regardless of the fact that we are going to enjoy this race together, hopefully. And remember, you guys get to vote which driver I'm going to use as for this custom schedule season. So right now, down in the chat below, vote your driver. This is the driver we will use specifically for our custom schedule season. There is no season mode, no custom schedule season mode on this game. What we are going to do is we're going to go into race now. We have the custom schedule already in the community post, so you can go to the community tab section, and the schedule is there for the custom schedule NASCAR 21 Ignition season, but the driver is not there yet. So I mentioned COTA would be race 2. Race 3 after that, I believe, would be Nashville, and then Dirt Bristol are the first 4 races of the season. Obviously, it's going to Martinsville this weekend. It's probably going to be till Monday before I can get probably the 3rd or 4th race in, but hopefully we can get COTA in tomorrow night if this game works once again. So, again, I will be able to tell down in the chat below who's voting more than once. So try not to spam, but if I try to get a recount, that'll be one thing. So, all right, let's see here. We got an Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick. Vote down in the chat. We have a Chase Elliott. I see you, Michael. Kyle Larson. I have not seen the same person pick more than once. I will set the timer to 3 minutes. Actually, I set it to 2 minutes because you guys are voting pretty quick here. I'll set the timer to 2 minutes, and that is how long you guys get to vote once I find the clock app on my phone. All right, timer Timer for 2 minutes. And it is playing. Dana Brower, welcome to the stream as well. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. We got 2 picks for Bowman. 3 picks. Oh, William Perks is changing his pick. He said Larson originally. Now remember, we are driving the 48 car. I'm not trying to sway your guys' vote, and I usually don't. But remember, we are driving the 48 car on the career mode already. So unless you want to see me drive for Alex Bowman in the custom schedule and in the career mode, I mean, which out of technicality you can, but just letting you guys know that ahead of time. Minute 20 on the clock, but right now Alex Bowman is leading the chat picks right now. Braden Thompson picks Christopher Bell, so that's the second pick for Bell. Again, Hendrick Motorsports won the vote, so for the career mode, I'm racing as Hendrick Motorsports. I didn't know if some of you guys knew that or forgot about that, but so just before Bowman gets picked, otherwise you guys see a lot of content on the channel where I'm driving for the 48 car. William Perks is going back with Larson again. Yeah, he picked him earlier, and then he changed his pick. Black Ace wants Christopher Bell, so that's 3 votes for Bell. We got 30 seconds left on the clock for you guys to vote. So we got 2 votes for Larson. I believe 3 different votes for Bell. Yeah, 3 votes for Bell, 2 for Larson right now. It seems like you guys have retracted from Alex Bowman's votes after that, because otherwise he was leading. So now I guess Bell would be leading the poll right now. I'll give you guys another minute. We had a bunch of retracting votes on there, and we got more people tuning in now. We only had about 11 when the votes started. Again, if you were just tuning in, cast your votes for who you want me to race as on the custom schedule season. Starting with the Daytona 500 tonight, we got 4 for Bell. It looks like we will likely be running as Christopher Bell. I gave you guys another minute because we had a lot more people come in all of a sudden over the last couple seconds. But Kyle Larson's simply winning races. Oh, so hang on. We got a couple. We got 4 for Larson, 4 for Bell right now. Joshua retracted his Tyler Reddick vote and said Bell. I got to go back and look how many different people have Bell and how. I think it's 4-4 right now. I believe it is 4-4. And then we had 1 for Quinn Helf. 1 for Suarez. Reddick was retracted. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Tim Irvin chooses for Eric Jones. That ain't bad. That is not bad. That'd be pretty cool. We are tied right now, though, between Bell and Larson. Canadian Bacon, where's my vote? Did you vote? You get to vote, man. What's your vote? Tim Irvin wants the 43. It looks like it's between Larson and Bell. Larson and Bell are far and away the top 2, but they're pretty even with one another right now. So between Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, vote again down in the chat. I said no spamming before, but I need to see if you guys want Bell or Larson, because that's pretty much who we're deciding on right now. Jacob Walton, he just came into the chat. He says Larson. Guess we just say it. I picked Chris Bell. Yeah. And then we got 1 pick for Elliott. I do remember Michael putting Elliott down in the chat earlier too. But Larson and Bell are leading the way, so it's a tie between those 2 right now. Just between Larson and Bell, who do you guys got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 for Bell. We got 1 for Larson right now, 2 for Larson. Tim Irvin says Bell, if not for Jones. It looks like Bell to me. Bell's for my state. I must have Bell. Remember, for future NASCAR games, whoever this driver is, we also cannot pick. I probably should have prefaced that beforehand, but so if we use Bell for NASCAR 21 ignition going forward, we can't use Christopher Bell anymore, but it looks like 20 and Bell is the way to go right now. It looked pretty close originally, but a lot of you guys are saying Christopher Bell, so we will run as Christopher Bell for the custom schedule season. Not too bad. We got that nice looking DeWalt paint scheme. We got the Ream paint scheme. Hopefully the Irwin Tools paint scheme comes because that's like one of my favorite from his. So hopefully we can get that paint scheme. We'll probably get Stanley when the DLCs start to drop here within the next couple months, I would have to imagine. But for right now, from Norman, Oklahoma, Christopher Bell. Second-year driver. We'll see if we can get the sophomore driver his first career win this season. Remember, he did not win a race in his rookie season. He did win an actual race this year, but this is the 2021 game. So we'll see if we can get Christopher Bell his first career win. We'll take a look at the settings for this season. These are constant. These will not change. Well, the weather will change, but outside of the weather itself, the other settings will not change. We'll have practice and qualifying on. I've done enough practice for Daytona, so we're just going to qualify and race tonight. Race length will be 100%. We will have 4 50% races. Those are also down in the schedule as well. So for the schedule, I have the race lengths and everything else too. Or maybe I can repost the race lengths if you guys want me to tomorrow or sometime within the next couple days. Maybe in my downtime when I'm at the hotel this weekend or something. That I will get all the race lengths ready to go. But we do have 4 50% races this year, but most of them are 100%. NASCAR rules will be turned off, at least for now, until they get fixed. Or actually, no, they're going to be on. They have to be on, because otherwise we can't have caution. So, never mind. We're going to have them on, because otherwise we can't get yellows. Fuel tire wear, that's going to be on, so we will be seeing pit stops with no telemetry. It's going to be pretty difficult, but we'll see how that's going to go. It will be on expert difficulty for every race this season. I don't want to change that. There's going to be some races because of this game that we are not going to run well on expert difficulty, but I'm not one for changing the settings throughout the course of the season. So what I've got is what I've got. So starting tonight for the Daytona 500, that's going to mean the races that we do run good. We better try to make sure that we get the victory at the end of the day. And let's head on in and start this race weekend and start this season off with a bang. The Daytona 500 on NASCAR 21 ignition. Unfortunately, it is 2 days later than the fact. Just think we'd be on the third race of the year at Nashville tonight, and the career mode would be ready to drop in less than 48 hours as well. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So Christopher Bell looked like won the, I almost said the draft pick, won the chat pick for this NASCAR 21 custom schedule season.
We're here for Daytona 500 qualifying day. I'm Alex Hayden of MRN, here to bring you all the action. Mock runs were made in practice, but today is the day to see who has the speed, the handling, and most importantly, the steadiness of the wheel to put together a perfect lap at over 180 miles per hour. The crews have pushed the cars out to the grid, and the drivers are ready to go. This is the first real indication of who's brought the fastest race car for the most prestigious race of the season. Who will be your Daytona 500 pole sitter? Will it be another Chevy front row lockout? A rookie pole sitter? Let's get the engines fired and session started.
So Christopher Bell with those beautiful DeWalt colors on the race car getting set for this season. We'll go into the data pad and check out what the what the wind speed and everything else is for today's qualifying event. Qualifying and the race itself will be at about 80 degrees. It looks like the wind is only about 5 miles an hour, so it shouldn't be too tricky for these drivers in qualifying, at least for today's race. And as far as the car setup itself, it will be set at stable for the start of this race. I guess we could adjust the settings there, which I kind of forgot we could. I've had so many game crashes and game issues, so I haven't really, there might be some stuff I've even missed in this game. I did see that I was able to change the settings and turn the driving assistance off thankfully, so I will not have driving assistance on either. I may have it on low for the road courses, but we'll have to wait and see. The new ones, at least. But the qualifying lap will begin. 2 laps for Christopher Bell to try and set the quick time for the Daytona 500. Recent years, it has been Chevrolet and Hendrick Motorsports specifically that has seemingly dominated the pole. There was one year Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was able to get the pole award as well here at the Daytona International Speedway, but mostly it has been Hendrick Motorsports. I have high hopes for a career mode with that being the case, but as far as the Daytona 500 here tonight on the channel goes, we'll see what Christopher Bell can do. I'm not sure if it's going to show us after lap 1 what our position is. No, it does not, so I guess we'll just have to wait. First lap was a 46.836 for Christopher Bell. He's got one more lap to try and pace himself at the front of the field. And remember, day to night transitions are on in this game, and they look really, really cool from what I've heard on 100% races. And I know really hardly anybody else, if anybody at all in the NASCAR YouTube community, does 100% races. But we will have that option to see this race likely start in the daytime and end in the dusk. Bell get across the start-finish line again, this time by. Down to the apron, into the tri-oval, looking for every source of speed he can. And he will qualify 12th for the 62nd running of the Daytona 500. An all Chevrolet front row, pretty realistic there. Alex Bowman and William Byron will be on the front row for the Daytona 500 with Eric Almirola, Bubba Wallace in row 2. I believe those were drivers that ran really well in the dual races this year too. Didn't Bubba Wallace win his duel or finish second in his duel? I think he finished second by a nose, and Almirola won his duel. So pretty realistic as far as the starting order for this race today. James Knight, welcome to the stream as well. Matthew Barros, welcome to the stream. So again, top 10. Row 1, we got Alex Bowman, William Byron. Row 2, Eric Almirola, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kevin Harvick in row 3. Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez in row 4. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin rounding out the top 10 for the start of tonight's 62nd running of the Daytona 500. Live commentary as always. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily content if you are new. We usually have monetization on for these streams. We do not have it on today. I was having issues with that earlier this morning, so maybe that'll be back up on the channel again tomorrow. So I guess I'm doing this simply for you guys. I mean, I do it for you guys every day, but I'm talking over Alex Hagan. I'm sorry about that.
Absolutely beautiful here today in Daytona Beach, Florida. Drivers are ready. The pre-race festivities have finished, and we're about ready to get racing. The Daytona 500 is about to be green.
All right, well, I don't think the win changes from qualifying to the race. Yeah, I didn't think it did, but I figured I'd check. I don't know what directions all these tracks point. I know a lot of them I've been to in person. I've not been to Daytona in person, so I don't know exactly, what direction every one of these tracks face. So, like, saying, like, north, south, east, or west, or north, like, I have no clue what end of the track that would actually be. But, all right, let's see what this race is going to bring today. Again, stable setup. And, again, there is a look at the starting lineup on the right-hand side of the screen. So the cars are about to roll off. Again, running as Christopher Bell for this custom schedule season. Virtue of you guys, the fans, with the vote down in the chat before the start of the race tonight. Manual transmission for all the races as well. You have to get used to that throughout the course of the season. Shouldn't be too much of an issue on the super speedways, though, as the green flag is in the air and we are underway in the 62nd running of the Daytona 500. NASCAR 21 Ignition Edition. Pit stops are on, but with no telemetry, it's hard to tell exactly when we are going to have to make our pit stop. Big run on the inside for Christopher Bell, being very aggressive early on. That's one thing you got to really be careful with in this game. Contact, and there's already a crash in turn 3. Oh my goodness. Bell's going to sit to the outside of the racetrack right now. Now he'll try to back it down to the bottom. He's got damage on the front of his race car. There's cars barrel rolling in turns 3 and 4. And we have a caution for the first time today. A terrible crash. Turn 3 on the opening lap, 3x3 into the first turn. And we have our first caution of the season immediately. That was way too aggressive by me. I was about to say you got to be patient in a long race. They're going to try not to lose a lap here under the pit stop, but they are also going to try and repair as many damages as they possibly can. But what an ugly start to the Daytona 500 to have the big one on lap 1. I don't think anybody was expecting that, including myself tonight. What is this? This is terrible. Oh, I didn't know we could control it. I might just have to restart this race. I don't want to restart it, but we already just had a glitch on the restart right there. I didn't know I could control the car. Usually you can until you get to the start-finish line, but for some reason our car just turned left right into the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, and Gaughan went around. Restart. I mean, the wreck was my... Well, I mean, it was just a racing deal, but obviously I should not have been that aggressive. Alright, I don't like doing that, but... I don't like restarting this, but that glitch we had on the restart was not our fault. The crash itself was. I shouldn't have been a half a lap down, though. Okay, well, we're going to teach patience on the opening lap. Bell had the run and took it. That was a weird sound. Alright. Well, we're going to try this again. The Daytona 500 NASCAR 21 Ignition Edition is underway on the custom schedule season. Christopher Bell still in the 12th starting spot. He's still stuck on the outside of the racetrack. He would like to get down to the bottom as soon as he possibly can. He's actually kind of pulling the 36 right now. David Reagan, more cars stacking up on that outside lane in the opening lap. Bell checking up out of the throttle that time, getting into turn 3. It's going to be tough to tell without a track map who's going to be leading these races throughout the course of the season, or, you know, what positions are actually accurate on the racetrack as well. The super speedways will likely be the easiest of those. Chase Elliott down below the double yellow line. I don't think he made a pass. The 99 of Suarez. Big slide for Christopher Bell into the grass in the tri-oval. Didn't look like very heavy contact with the 99 of Daniel Suarez, but it was enough to knock the car sideways. What a save by Christopher Bell. Ugly start to the Daytona 500. Bell's getting a pretty big run, though, off the back of this pack right now. He's going to try to be patient. Obviously, a lot of track position loss. We've got drivers passing below the double yellow line. Kaz Grawl in the 16 for Colleague Racing, taking it 3 wide down to the double yellow line on Matt DiBenedetto. And Cole Custer, and he is making contact as they are sandwiched 3 wide right now. And there might be another wreck. Bell's going to try to take it 4 wide down the back straightaway to get around these guys as quick as he can. Very aggressive racing early on tonight. Gralla is pinching the 20th Bell down. Bell clips the apron, gets a little sideways again. Lost a ton of momentum that time. He just didn't want to be stuck in another accident. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Only on lap 4, you haven't missed much. Big run off the exit of turn 2 for Bell. Side drafts the 34, Michael McDowell. There's a big checkup down the back straightaway, and Bell makes a little bit of contact now with the 42 of Ross Chastain. My goodness, the car just jumped big time up the track, and again, Bell trying to save the race car as he makes a big slide. Great job not overcorrecting it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to stay green. You know what, though? This kind of serves me right after restarting the race. I think I deserved it. There are 2 cars at the back of the pack, Josh Bilicki and James Davidson, who have lost the draft. No drafting help right now for Christopher Bell. Luckily, he's got very minimal damage on the race car, if any at all. Very light scrapes, but his car was completely out of shape there in the early going of this race. The dangers of starting in the middle of the pack, of course, that 12th qualifying position did not put him in a peculiar, or did put him in a peculiar position. I mean, we'll try to look at the intervals up there and see if Bell, even all by himself, can maybe catch those backmarker cars like Timmy Hill, Brendan Gaughan, Quinn Houff, and maybe have a chance to draft with them. Otherwise, he may be dependent on a caution. This could be the makings of a long night. We'll see, though. Restarted it to Havoc. I know, but I usually just play through it. I feel guilty doing that because I never do that. I don't like restarting the race. I say this isn't that much better of an experience for my sake. Interval-wise, though, Christopher Bell is catching the back of the pack, or at least Quinn Houff. He's not really catching guys like Timmy Hill and Brendan Gaughan, who are actually linked onto that last pack of cars right now, but Bell should be able to catch the 00 of Houff. He is running faster than him. Of course, the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota by himself versus a Starcom Racing Chevrolet by himself is probably going to be the big difference. This is a long 500-mile race, and although Bell is off the lead, we don't know, again, what the interval is or exactly where the leaders are at. That was a big-time save. 2 saves, one in the tri-oval coming to lap 2, and then in lap 3 or 4 in turns 3 and 4 when he got really loose on the bottom of the track as well. 2 major saves by Bell, showing off that dirt track racing prowess. Really doing what Bell knows how to do. Let's make incredible saves. Can't control the car before the restart. Yeah, I figured we can't, but for some reason it was letting me that time, and I don't know if it was because we were stuck behind the 62 or what the deal was there. And Bell's got some speed in this race car, though. Obviously, the single car speed was 12. This is extra difficulty, so we'll see what we can do working with the draft. Maybe try to limit the time we're on pit road. tire wear is a factor in this game, but on the super speedways, I'd have to imagine like any other NASCAR game or NASCAR race, the tire wear is not going to be that relevant. So he might be able to get away as long as he doesn't lock the tires, making any green flag stops if we have any in this race, taking fuel only or right sides only and then left sides only, alternating positions to try to get back into the hunt and back into maybe a position to win this race. Once he catches this 6 to 8 car pack up here, at least he'll have some drafting help. And going to have to be a lot more patient. Now they're not being patient as they're 3 wide in the tri-oval. And we know how glitchy the cautions can be in this game as well. I get you, Cap. I get you for sure. Gaming Hot Plays, welcome to the stream. Big run in the draft. That car at the back of the pack, the 53 of Joey Gage, just kind of moves up out of the way. Corey LaJoie, BJ McLeod. It's actually, I mean, this race so far, pretty realistic. Bell gets out of the gas in time before getting into the back of Gone, following the inside lane. And now he's got some drafting help for really the first time in this race. Anthony Alfredo, Front Row Motorsports towards the back, rookie. 62 car, moves off the top. Bell had to check up as he cut back down to block before losing the bottom lane. Almost saw the 62 car kind of step out that time. Christopher Bell going with Cody Ware up high. Going to draft with him. Going to pull down in front of the 62 car. Here comes the 78 of BJ McLeod for Live Fast Motorsports, his cell phone race team to the high side as well. So Bell going to work with Cody Ware. The bump drafting works in this game. We got to be careful doing it in the middle of the tri-oval and in the corners. Very realistic with that. But they are pretty much single file down on the inside. Bell giving Cody Ware a big shot right now, and we're going to try to see what the back of the pack can do. And now he'll pull to the inside, and Bell's going to try to lead this pack. That's not Cody Ware, sorry, it's Timmy Hill. I saw Cody Ware on the screen a little bit ago, and it changed a little late, so sorry for getting the position, or the drivers in their respective positions wrong there. The leaderboard is not all the time accurate on this game, as most things with this game are or aren't. And Bell's got a rocket ship. Already 10 likes on the stream. We're only 13 laps in. Thanks for hitting that like button. I've been giving the game a lot of crap because of my playing experience with it. But I can't wait to see if this day to night transition is going to be in a full race and to have this every single race. It's going to be look pretty cool every track we go to. How that's going to change. I mean, just think like what you're seeing right now. In 150 more laps, it's likely going to be nighttime. And the track may cool off and change because of that. Remember, 80 degrees to start this race. So we'll see how accurate that might be. And turn that grip level up. That might be another reason why Bell's been sliding around a lot. 80 degrees. The asphalt is cooking here at Daytona, so the track is naturally going to be a little bit more slick. Bell way too fast for those cars behind him. Now he is catching Cody Ware, Chris Buescher, and Justin Haley, who are at the back of this next pack. Not as fast as what he was catching the pack behind him originally. But he is definitely doing what he can. He wanted to draft, and he was picking up a little bit of speed, but he's just way too fast. Obviously, he's 3 seconds ahead of those back marker cars right now, and he's currently sitting 31st. Again, I will be doing the points myself, just like I did for NASCAR Heat 5, respectively, because of the points scoring issues there. There will be no stages for this custom schedule season, as well as at least the first season of the NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode when we start that gameplay. Hopefully sometime sooner rather than later. I mean, the worst case scenario, we could always end up doing the career mode Daytona 500 tomorrow night as a live stream just to get that started this weekend. Because otherwise, I'm not going to be able to. I don't have time to record it with work tomorrow, and I'm leaving Saturday morning. I'm getting up at like 6 so I can leave by 7 for Martinsville Saturday morning. So I won't be there for the Trucker Xfinity race this weekend, but I will be there for the Cup race. So another reason to like, share, and subscribe. Got the predictions coming this weekend. I already have everything ready to go. All I got to do is edit the video, and that should be uploaded likely before Sunday. Yeah, Bell's definitely catching the back of this pack. It looks like they're a little bit more strung apart, at least at the back of it, and maybe are losing the cars ahead of them, because now, just within a couple laps, Bell's within 4 seconds of Cody Ware. It was about 6.5 seconds 3 laps ago. I mean, I guess if I am having issues when I test Coda tomorrow when I get home from work, again, because it will be a day-to-day thing, I'll probably hop on here when I can and just to, like, test out, see if there's any bugs, any glitches. Obviously, Daytona's working here. I would assume it's going to work for the career mode, too. So, worst-case scenario, I think we'll probably end up having NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow. I know the career mode episodes are usually going to be premieres, but just to, keep the content rolling with this game, we might just end up live streaming the career mode, at least for the 500. And Joey Logano wins and makes it to the championship 4. I mean, he's got a shot. I was looking at the statistics for all 8 drivers, and actually Kyle Busch has probably the worst statistics in the last couple of years at Martinsville consistently compared to any other driver in the field. Between that, you look at his success on the 750 tracks this season compared to everybody else in the field as well, as far as the 8 playoff drivers go, and that's not that great either. So I feel like Busch is not going to be the guy to make it in on points if there is going to be someone in on points in that 4th spot or a win. I really do think it comes down to Truex and Blaney. And I'd probably give the edge to Truex just because he has won there. Blaney hasn't won there. He's been super close, super consistent on a few occasions within the last 3 races there, but Truex has actually gotten the job done, and that's where I believe the difference is going to come into play. You never know in this 200-lap race as well. Again, like I was kind of stating earlier, the cautions are buggy in this game. They don't always fly. That we could end up seeing a big crash, and as long as Bell misses it, he could maybe pass half the field just like that. But so far, we are caution-free in the first 19 laps of this race. We'll likely end up catching some of those cars ahead of him at some point in time. Lap 20 this time by as well. So again, I'm not sure exactly how far we could go on fuel. I'd imagine it's going to be really close to what NASCAR Heat 5 was as far as the fuel tank goes. I know it will alert you on the bottom right corner, right above where we're in 4th gear, or right below where we're in 4th gear. It'll have like a fuel flash inside, but I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if that means we're low fuel. That means we, how many more laps we can go after that. I have 0 clue. So here it is. Bell's in the draft now. He has caught the rear of this front pack. We're all kind of running the outside. And we are seeing pit stops right now all of a sudden, and this is not going to be good. Oh my goodness. Bell slides into the tri-oval. Cars were coming into the pit lane. He drills Eric Almirola down into the pit lane as well. Hopping into 1st gear. What was that? He had nowhere to go, and he has just totaled the rear of his race car. I was not expecting cars to pit at lap 20. Not that much damage to the front of the race car somehow, but the rear of the race car is severely damaged for Christopher Bell. No caution. As we will see a lot in this game. I don't know what just happened there. Ben on YouTube, welcome to the stream. That damage to the rear of the race car is not only going to add extra drag, but Christopher Bell's in second place right now. Now he's in the lead. Kyle Larson was the last car to pit. We got a wreck exiting the pit lane now. Cars jumping up the racetrack. Looked like a 3-car crash back there exiting the pit lane. That Bell was just able to stay to the high side. This is going to be one crazy season unlike any other when it comes to NASCAR video gaming on the channel. Ryan Blaney's got heavy damage to the front of his car. Here comes Kyle Larson in second place. So Bell has not pit. Here's Larson. I have no clue where we could go on fuel. I'm surprised they were all pitting at lap 20. I mean, I would think that's only like halfway through the run. That may help Bell. I'm not entirely sure. Bell just trying to block now, and he's leading the first laps for himself this season. The fellow dirt racing really great behind him, Kyle Larson. Bell just trying to hold on to the lead and stay in front of Larson. Larson's got some damage. There are a lot of cars with damage all of a sudden. What a wild and wonky 23 laps it has been so far. I'm sure we could have expected. Oh no, who doesn't have heavy damage at this point? I mean, it is literally just a 2-car pack strung apart right now. My day is pretty up and down for a day off of work. Between having the issues with the game earlier, I didn't think we were going to be able to stream. We were so close to me just running NASCAR 05 at Dover at the start of when we actually started this stream, but I mean, I'm assuming that we will get a caution at some point in time in this race, but it is the Daytona 500, but I don't know what kind of a crash it takes for cautions to actually come out in this game. Here comes Ryan Blaney to the inside. He's a lap down right now. Larson's going to try to follow the 12 of Blaney, and that was his opportunity to try and pass the 20 of Christopher Bell. So Bell going to try to cling on to the back of the 12 and the 5. Bell's got a damaged car, but so does Blaney. Larson's got a hole in the nose of his car. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, especially with this game and the fact that it is Daytona, but this is going to be a pit strategy race here today. Because we have no clue what the strategy is going to be for anybody. Bell's got to run. He's going to take it 3 wide underneath Kyle Larson for the lead. Oh, contact. Blaney pinches Larson, which pinches Bell into the first turn. Contact between the 5 and the 20. Blaney did not give the leaders much room as he was trying to hold on to the lead lap. And now the 5 and the 20 are side by side with no drafting help behind him. Larson clears Bell. Bell going to try to hop back in line. He doesn't want to lose this 5 car. Blaney squeezes and makes contact with the next lap car now. They're getting stalled out in front of the 5 of Larson. Larson's going to have to check up. And here comes Christopher Bell, who gets loose off turn 4 out of random. Piles it into the wall again. What is going on with this game? I have no clue how I lost control. Bell's just going to pit. Might as well pit. Wrecking off turn 4. This is just going to be an ugly season, ladies and gentlemen. I'm accepting it now, and I'm going to try to have fun with it. So much for like realistic commentary when you have this stuff going on, but I'll do my best. Bell has already beat up the sheet metal all the way around that car. First it was only the back, now it is the front. Not sure how much patching it is necessarily going to work right now. I mean, this car is crinkled. I mean, it's going to be tough to tell if we're ever going to be on the lead lap. The 10 of Almirola was parked sideways in his pit box. Bell's got plenty of room to work his way back up onto the racetrack. He's currently in the 28th position as he tries to get back up to speed. So we pitted at lap 26. There's Tyler Reddick. Bell not up to speed yet. I don't think he'll ever fully get back up to speed with all the damage. Can you actually DNF in this game, though, with wrecking? Like, I have no clue how... I don't even know if DNFing is an option in this game. I haven't been able to really play it without the game crashing itself. Seems like Bell's still faster than Tyler Reddick. Reddick is in 17th, so that tells me Christopher Bell is one lap down in 28th. First caution for you is lap 21. There's a pack of cars coming behind Christopher Bell, led by the 18th place driver Ryan Newman, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, 18th, 19th, and 20th on the leaderboard. So again, that wreck for Bell started off the exit of turn 4 as Eric Almirola is still just backing up. He's completely just backing up and pulling forward into his pit box, slamming the inside wall. He was doing that when we were in the pits and we barely missed him. And he's still doing that even right now. Actually seems like Bell is kind of pulling away a little bit. And I think some of that might be fresher tires. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he's got a damaged car. I don't know how this thing is still running over 190 miles an hour. You want to talk about a wild card race at Daytona? This is a wild card race right here to start the season. There he is. He's somebody's going to hit him at some point, you would think. And there's Bell to the back bumper now of Tyler Reddick. So a drafting partner for Christopher Bell. Two cars is faster than one. Big run to the outside. And I think Bell's going to clear him on his own, it looks like, in the tri-oval to the high side of Tyler Reddick. Pulls down. He's got him cleared underneath. Reddick going to swing to the top side of the racetrack now, but again, nothing doing. He's going to have to sit in line behind the 20 of Bell. I wasn't expecting to pit that lap until I hit the inside wall off turn 4, battling Larson for the lead. Trying to side draft Reddick there, and he kind of came down into us. I think it was just two drivers fighting for the same spot on the racetrack at the same time. We are 32 laps in. Be careful with this much damage for sure. I mean, you want to be careful in general, and I have not done a great job of being patient in this race. I'm so comfortable with any other NASCAR game because I've played it enough before that I could do that, race aggressively, and get away with it. But in this game, it's just not possible, at least right now for me. And, you know, those first couple laps of the race were a big instance of that. And this is another one right here as the pack has finally caught Tyler Reddick and will soon catch Christopher Bell, likely off the exit of turn 2 this time. Maybe this is going to create a little bit more synergy in the pack. Bell just kind of trying to block for his life right now. He's going to go to the inside. He does not want to come off the double yellow line if he could help it. Brad Keselowski and Tyler Reddick pull in line behind him. So about an 8-car pack. And if they pit at lap 20, I wonder if they're going to pit at lap 40 again. I'm not counting Bell out of this race at all. The way the cautions fly in this game, I know he's a lap down in 28th, but all it takes is one caution if he can be on the lead lap at the right time, and he's back in this. We've got a long ways to go. Problem is there's no stage racing, so that's 2 cautions that we know for a fact will not happen. Will this game ever be normal without all the glitches? I hope not. Or, I mean, I hope so. But I would like to think probably not. I don't think it's ever going to be completely normal. But I mean, a lot of the cars in this pack, I've noticed, don't really have damage. Even the race leader, Kyle Larson, had some damage to his car. Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski starting to get a run. Looks like Brad's leading the outside in this lane. And actually, I don't think that's Keselowski up there anymore. It was. I think one of the cars in the bottom behind Austin Dillon kind of pulled out of line. Dillon goes to block now. The car's on the high side. AI is very aggressive on the super speedways. He's blocking. I mean, they'll run to the side of you. They get the run. They'll swing high. They'll swing low. The problem, though, not only they're aggressive, but they don't, if they're side by side, like, they'll make contact with you. It's like they just don't, it's almost like they don't have any awareness when they're in front of you or beside you, but when they're behind you, they have an awareness to try and get around you. Is what I've noticed so far in the first 36 laps of the Daytona 500. Ugly game, and we're going to be seeing some ugly racing. But again, I'm going to try not to get upset, discouraged. I think I've done a pretty good job of not doing that right now. Trying to keep the realistic commentary going. That's the whole goal. Whole goal of these streams, but who knows? We'll have another chance to get them back in the career mode. As far as the Daytona 500 is concerned. If we don't win this race today. Well, now I know for the career mode, expect them to pit at lap 20, so we don't have that same issue we did today. Assuming that's the case. And we'll see if they'll pit at lap 40. It might be an every 20 lap thing. I don't know. I mean, I know we could obviously go longer. We went to 26 laps, and I only pitted because I wrecked off turn 4, making contact with Larson, trying to go 3 wide for the lead. I have no clue for online lobbies. Sometime next week will be the first time, but I have no clue right now. Like I said, it's day-to-day with this game. I cannot give you any confirmation 100% like I normally would that we are going live, you know, with this game until the day of. So you'll just kind of have to keep that notification bell on so you don't miss a start. I can give you start times every day. Again, tomorrow night will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the start of our stream. It's either going to be Daytona 500 career mode, CODA, for the custom schedule, if NASCAR 21 ignition works at all, and if it doesn't work tomorrow at all, from when I get home from work. As we got some more cars exiting the pit lane. So it looks like they are pitting about every 20 laps. And we got another wreck coming out of the pits. In the air goes Kyle Busch. Big crash at the end of the front stretch as Kyle Busch has gone airborne, pulling out onto the racetrack as soon as he came out of the pit lane. And the nastiest crash that we have seen in the first 39 laps of the Daytona 500. And there's no track map to indicate if anybody is getting stacked up, so Bell's going to have to be careful making his way back through the tri-oval this time by, hoping and praying that there's no gigantic accident. More cars pulling out of the pits this time by as well. He's also going to have to be careful for them pulling out on the track, which they will right now, and he gets drilled. Bell just gets drilled by a car pulling up onto the racetrack, similar to what happened to Kyle Busch. And that right front tire is flat on the 20 of Christopher Bell. Nowhere to go. I believe the right front tire is down on Bell's race car. I could not tell who that was. It looked like it might have been Daniel Suarez, but we were coming in way too fast to really tell exactly who that might have been. Are the bugs fixed? Ethan, if you rewind it like 30 seconds, you will see that they are not fixed. Another big crash here for Christopher Bell. That right front tire is down, and he's going to have to make his way into the pits this time by. Going to try to go full damage repair here. 55 miles per hour is a pit road speed limit. I do know that. I don't want to speed as much as I can help it. We have not had a single caution in this race. Kyle Busch flipped the lap before somebody tried to pull out of the pit lane right in front of Christopher Bell. His right front tire is down on his race car. Eric Almirola is still backing up and pulling forward into his pit box. This is going to be a lengthy stop here for Bell, but they've got to get whatever part of this damage fixed as they can. NASCAR being NASCAR, no caution. Slider 916, welcome to the stream, and no caution. Nope. Should have been one the lap before when Kyle Busch had his issue. I don't know why our car came to a stop there either. Got like a single car coming here and there. Hopefully they'll have the wherewithal to get around Christopher Bell. He'll stay to the inside of the racetrack and let these cars race up by. Now the good news is Bell's in 28th, which is exactly where he was running on the racetrack before everybody else made their stop. The only thing he can hope for right now is because they all pitted right around lap 40 that he is still in the lead lap. Here comes Ryan Blaney in the 12. He'll pull in line behind Bell as Bell tries to get up to speed. But I don't think Bell is ever going to be able to get this car fully back up to speed again in this race. Survive the carnage in this 500-mile race at Daytona. And whatever speed Bell had in his race car before got completely knocked out that time. Denny Hamlin's got some heavy damage. The two Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota is going to link up now, perhaps down the back straightaway, but I think Hamlin's much faster than Bell. And Denny Hamlin is the race leader. So that also makes an incentive for Bell to block. Larson, who had that big lead, had gotten ran down by at least Denny Hamlin. Hamlin leads this race now, and Bell's going to have to block the leaders. And he can't do it for long. Larson gets to the inside. He pulls back to the lead. Help from Ryan Newman, who's in 19th the lap down. So that means Christopher Bell is likely 2 laps down right now. So Bell is 2 laps down on the racetrack. Bubba Wallace is in second. And Denny Hamlin has to be maybe a little upset with his teammate. Bell wants some drafting help here. When am I going to Martinsville? If you talk about real life, I'm leaving for Martinsville Saturday. Yeah, so Bell is 2 laps down. But the field will pit every 20 laps. So if he could just survive carnage, he will make up laps even running as slow as he is right now. And him blocking Hamlin does give him a little incentive to do so. Every position's going to matter in this race. There are no stages. So you can't score stage points. So a rough finish, maybe deeming even worse as far as consistency to hopefully make the playoffs at the end of the regular season. You may have to win. How wild and crazy this season's going to be, I will not be shocked if we see more than 16 different winners in this game. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Again, Bell with damage. Severe damage. He had heavy damage before, but it wasn't severe to the point where his car was slow. He still had the pace to keep up with the leader, Kyle Larson, until, again, I believe it was Daniel Suarez, but I'm not entirely sure, but somebody pulled out of the pit lane right in front of him on the racetrack, not using the apron. Busch did that the lap before. He missed Kyle Busch, and Busch went airborne. I mean, we could see some drivers DNFing in this race, too, I guess. Possible. Ross Chastain is closing in from behind in 20th. He's a half a second behind Bell, but he is also only 1 lap down versus Bell being 2 laps down. Why is there no stage option? I don't know. I think, oh my goodness, I wasn't even trying to block him. Jones sliding in the grass. Right off the front bumper. Don't go that way, don't go that way. There we go. Ugly race. He's got room to pull back up onto the racetrack. That's more time lost for Christopher Bell. He wasn't even trying to block the 42 of Ross Chastain. Just kind of got clipped on that left rear corner panel, and around went Christopher Bell. Here comes William Byron and Daniel Suarez. I don't think it was Suarez that hit us. I didn't realize he was in the iFly car. I guess there's some drafting help with Bell again. I'm going to guess that there's no stages in this game. They probably left it out because it was an even bigger book. I mean, you got to expect, though, too. Do you have cautions in it? Yes, cautions are on. Cautions are on. In our 1 lap test, we had a caution on the first lap, but in this race, we have not had a caution fly up to this point. And we have seen, on accounts, 5 accidents now. 2 of them Bell was involved in. 3 of them, actually, if you count that spin, but he was able to at least save the car on that spin that time. Bell's starting to pick up a little bit of speed again. The 190 miles an hour down the back straightaway with Alex Bowman behind him. It's hard to tell if that's because he was able to get a draft off the cars in front of him, and I think that was the reason why, because he's back down to about 180 miles an hour off the exit of turn 4. Again, we know the field will pit every 2 laps. So even though Bell's 2 laps down, should be all right. 3 wide middle that time in the trial. Well, that was a little dangerous situation. Benedetto down low, just trying not to make contact with a single car. With all the damage, the bumpers will not align right on this race car anymore. We'll comment in the chat down below. Where do you think we're going to finish this race position-wise? You think we'll get a top 10, top 20? Top 10 is like a win at this point. So we pit right around lap 40. Lap 41, if I remember correctly, was the last pit stop we made. If we could go 40 to 45 laps like a normal, you know, at least 40, knowing that they are pitting every 20 laps, they're still going to have to pit 6 times in this race. We might get away with pitting 2 times. Not 2, probably 3 times. That could gain us 3 laps alone. We're 2 laps down as it is. And that's not, you know, considering the fact that we could maybe take fuel only or right sides only and maybe not repair any more damage the rest of this race, which I think is probably going to have to be the option, is don't repair any more damage. The only risk is if we do get in another accident, which is almost looking likely at this point, that it's just not going to work out very well. R6 predicted 25th. Joshua Rumsey is thinking positively. He thinks 8th place. We are a quarter of the way home through the Daytona 500. Again, we do know that Christopher Bell is 2 laps down in the 28th position with heavy damage to his race car. We've not seen a caution. I almost at this point don't even think we're going to get a caution, because we've seen instances where we could have had 5 of them. But this most recent damage, again, was not Bell's fault. There was a car that pulled off of the pit lane at about lap 40. After the field made their second green flag stops of the race. Bell had only made 1 up to that point, but he pulled out right in front of Bell, sideways nonetheless, right here at this area of the racetrack, right at the exit of the pit lane, 3/4 of the way down through the front stretch. Bell hit him. In doing so, he blew a right front tire hard into the wall. It has knocked some severe speed out of the race car. It's most of the damage that you see on the race car right now. Austin Dillon to the high side. Crazy thing is, there's a lot of cars with damage right now. It's not like it's just Bell, but Bell seems to have the worst end of the stick right now. Braves football team, welcome to the stream. Is getting the new game worth it? Hold off. Hold off until we get more patches, because so far today it has been a crapshoot of a Daytona 500. It has been pretty bad. And the last 2 nights, I wasn't even able to stream the Daytona 500 when I wanted to because of the game crashing. Tonight, we have not had any issues with it crashing up to this point. Knock on wood. Still trying to squeeze in line here, see if he can get some draft. Now, these are the back marker cars he was able to blow by on his own earlier. I wonder if these are drivers that he can maybe try to keep up and draft with. Keep thinking X changes the telemetry, like in any other NASCAR game I know, and it doesn't. And Bell's actually clinging on to the draft right now with the 78 of BJ McLeod for Live Racing. Not going to bump draft him with this damage, though. But he has some drafting help with these back marker cars. It's crazy how much damage it's taken for him to run this slow, but he can still keep up to speed with these guys. Ryan Newman in the 6. Down on the inside. That's the only thing with the camera rotating like that is I just put it in the wall a little bit ago. That last time down the back straightaway because there's no rear view mirror. So it gets a little sideways in the tri-oval just trying to keep it off of the 62 car. Moving back to the high side in front of Ryan Newman as he had a lot of traffic he was holding up behind him. Really has to be patient and hold his line on the high side. Although he's holding his line, the cars underneath him are not. So he is flying back by. McLeod pulled down to the bottom. Jones getting run on the high side. He's going to try to follow Bubba Wallace in the 23. Wallace is the leader. So that means Christopher Bell is now 3 laps down. But for the moment, he is keeping up in the draft with affiliated Toyota and TRD driver Bubba Wallace. Wallace can't really pull ahead without any drafting help, and there's so many cars in this lead pack all of a sudden. By so many, I mean about a half a dozen, maybe a little more than that. Wallace is going to be pitting here within the next 5 laps, so Bell's going to get at least 1, maybe 2 of his laps back, knowing he's only this far behind the leader. So pit strategy and likely not repairing any damage the rest of the race is going to be the strat for Christopher Bell to try and get himself a better finish in the Daytona 500. And I am not giving up yet, as we are still only at lap 56. Any cautions we get, he is going to repair damage. Very, very risky blocking right now. Both Ryan Newman and the 78 of BJ McLeod. We got a slow car down on the apron of the racetrack, who I think might have just exited the pit lane. Bubba Wallace has just checked up because of him. Wallace is checking up big time, and here comes Eric Jones up the middle. And he gets 1 of his 2 laps back right there. I believe Ryan Newman's the first car lap down, or it might be Kevin Harvick, first driver lap down at 14th. There are a lot of drivers being lapped here in the early going to the Daytona 500, and I say early going because we're not even halfway home yet. Bell has just got 1 of his 2 laps back with that car coming out of the pit lane, so he is not the only slow car on the racetrack. And I don't think it's within every 20 laps that these drivers are pitting. It seems to be more like within like 17 or 18 laps that these drivers are pitting every time. Bell still scored 28th. And Bubba Wallace might have pit behind him as well, but he got 1 lap back before Wallace. There goes the 4 of Kevin Harvick racing by on the outside. Bell will hop in line in front of the 6 of Ryan Newman now. Ryan Newman all of a sudden scored in 10th, but I think he's going to try to make his way into the pits sometime pretty soon. If we could just stay out of trouble in the Daytona 500 in the career mode, I think we can win this race easily, but that is going to be the big issue. Just trying to survive the carnage of this game on any track. Got some cars coming out of the pit lane again. Hopefully nobody pulls up on the racetrack right in front of Bell like last time, and that was not the case this time, thankfully. Bell's only got James Davidson behind him, so it's a little easier to block the 15 Rick Ware Racing car of James Davidson. Bell still scored in 28th, unfortunately, though. A lot of these drivers have made their stops. Not all of them, though. Bell got to go to the high side. David Reagan trying to get up to speed still. James Davidson following Christopher Bell. Bell pulls back down to the bottom in front of Reagan. Back in front of Davidson on the high side into the tri-oval. Davidson is actually 4th position right now. So it's a battle for 27th as Bell has moved up another spot, as well as Davidson with 1 of those cars pitting. I wonder if Davidson's going to pit sometime soon. Maybe he hasn't made his 3rd pit stop of the race yet. Fortunately, Bell's had to pit twice because of damage. Second paint scheme is the Ream paint scheme right now. DLCs come out, you know, whenever they end up coming out. They got to worry about bug fixes before DLCs, in my opinion. But it'd be an exciting run as the Irwin Tools paint scheme, because that's probably one of my favorite paint schemes in NASCAR in general. So you guys picking me to run as Christopher Bell, kind of psyched about that. People who are going to Martinsville need to speak up at the game booth. Well, if I see the game booth there, I will let them know the issues I've had. I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty fair. I'm a pretty nice guy. You know, if they don't want to take anything into consideration from me, that's fine, whatever. But I'm going to try not to get mad, you know, about the situation here. Bell in 26th. Chase Elliott in 3rd place. The running order changes so much too. So Bell pit at lap 41. Elliott's just going to go down to the double yellow line. Go to the 36. David Reagan. They'll both blow past the 20 of Christopher Bell. Missed a vote, wanted Quinn Half. It was pretty much all Larson and Bell. I don't think Half would have won it. They actually had a lot of votes for Bell and Larson, so good luck to the Packers tonight. Yeah, indeed. Well, nice thing if this race goes caution free is it's going to get done quicker, so we might actually end up not even missing any of the game tonight. Little bump to the back of James Davidson. I think he's trying to get up to speed. So Davidson is pit. Bell up to 24th now. Oh, man. Almost 3 wide middle. Almost contact with Davidson. That was a pretty close call as well. They're side by side in front of the 34 and the 1. So 2 by 2 again at Daytona. Kurt Busch is in 4th place. Michael McDowell in 5th. Daniel Suarez in 6th in this pack as well. Man, I can't even tell who that other car is in the back. Josh Bilicki. He's at least 1 lap down. Or LaJoy as well, at least 1 lap down in the pack. Alex Bowman in the 48 down to the inside, and all of a sudden Christopher Bell's been shuffled to the top. Going to give Corey LaJoy a little bit of a bump draft there. Backs out of the gas, and still having issues, and I think that tire might be down on Bell. I don't know, it's hard to tell if the tire's down or not. Yeah, it's down. Well, I guess it's time for Bell to pit. Oh my gosh. I can't even get the car to pit road. That's going to cost Bell big time. Can we go backwards? No, that's not going to work. I'm stuck. Oh my gosh. Yeah, heavy damage right now on the 20 of Christopher Bell. Blowing right front tires. He's trying to get back up to speed. There goes Denny Hamlin, the race leader. Yeah, there's no telemetry, so I can't tell, if we have a tire blown or not. I'd like to think we do. We've got to have a tire down. The way it just drifts all the way up the track at the corners. Bell's going to try to pit this time. Minimal repair. Might as well take 4 tires. It's hard to move it on the analog stick when your tire's blown like that, too. I wanted to just take 2. So the field has made 3 pit stops, and so has Christopher Bell now as well. This is his 3rd stop. We're trying to go longer than them because I know we can pit once in the span that it takes them to pit twice, but we keep getting caught up in accidents. In that case, I just checked up because I was on the high side and I got ran into. I don't know why the car checks up like that. Do we have our speed back? At least. It'd be nice. I doubt it. This game is a little bit of a headache. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, you can make a lot of adjustments. I'm just saying it's hard to do that when my tire was blown like it was. You know, we had a right front tire down. I'm trying to keep my thumb on the analog stick, so I can't really use the keypad to go down because I wanted to take just right sides only to make the stop a little bit quicker. I don't think the car got any slower with the damage. It definitely didn't get faster. He was able to draft behind the 78 car earlier. We'll see if he could do that again here. He only lost 1 position in that whole transition. Maybe we could stay out of the pits to get some wave rounds too instead of pitting during the cautions. If we get any again. I don't think we're going to get any anymore. I mean, the way this... I don't know what it takes for a caution in this game at this point. Christopher Jimenez, welcome to the stream. Oh my gosh. You can't get the car... I mean, we saved it. We didn't hit anything that time. This game is a train wreck. I did hit the wall on my own. I was trying to look at the chat, but then we just got turned so easily. Again, this is on the hardest difficulty, so that doesn't help, but it doesn't feel right for me not to run the hardest difficulty. I think everybody behind us is like nearly out of the race for us to keep spinning like this, and we're still in 25th. And Kyle Larson's in 29th now. He was leading the race earlier. So I think a lot of these other guys are getting damaged and they're trying to repair their cars on pit road too. So maybe we could just survive for top 20 that way. I really don't know, but it's showing Justin Haley in 22nd, 7.8 seconds ahead of us. He can't be on the same lap that we are. There's no way. I mean, he's only 3 positions ahead, so I guess it's not impossible. Then again, Brendan Gaughan in 23rd, sorry, is 2.3 seconds ahead of us. So Jones is now pitted about lap 65, 66. Spurs Forever 321, welcome to the stream. What happened? A lot has happened in this race today. Again, if you're just tuning in, for one, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do full race live streams with a realistic commentary on the daily. Video games, real-life races on the weekends. Of course, NASCAR season's almost over. We only got one more of those coming up this weekend, or this year, and it will be next weekend at Phoenix for the Xfinity Series Championship. I'll be at Martinsville this weekend, so we'll have a live... or we'll have a grandstands highlights video. But as far as this race goes, it has been wild. We have not had a caution in the first 70 laps of the race now. Christopher Bell's at least 3 to 4. I'm thinking 4 laps down, honestly, at this point, is what I'd have to guess. Chase Elliott is in second, so yeah, I'm guessing that Bell is 4 laps down. He could be 5 down, but I guess 4 or 5 laps down is what I'm guesstimating. He has now been involved in 3 accidents in today's race. Just getting pushed around. The first accident was my fault. I was battling for the lead a little too hard about 25, 26 laps into the race. 3 wide for the lead on the bottom. Made just a little bit of contact with Kyle Larson. The car spun off turn 4. Definitely a light, sensitive area of the racetrack, and just too risky that early in the race to be doing that. The second accident was not my fault, however, though. Somebody pulled out of the pit lane right in front of us, exiting pit road. And the driver did that the lap before. We missed him, and Kyle Busch ended up flipping. He was the driver that did it the first time through. We missed him the second lap. Somebody else did it, and I don't know who it was, but we clobbered him. And that blew the right front tire, so we had to go the whole length of the track on a blown right front. That is most of the damage you see now. Then we just blew a right front tire again. Within the last 10 laps, Ryan Newman just completely doors. The 20 of Christopher Bell just trying to get down to the inside of the racetrack. I don't think Jones appreciated that, but sorry, not Jones, Bell. Bell appreciated that. Caution would have been thrown in real life on like 6 different occasions already. So some of the issues have been because there are no cautions, so the wreck happens and then another wreck happens transpiring into that wreck, kind of like our second one we were involved in when we blew the right front tire originally. Then we missed the pit lane the last time we blew the right front tire, so that cost us about another lap. That's why I'm thinking we might be 5 laps down. The leaderboard's not very accurate. You can't change that leaderboard to see how far off the leader you are exactly, so you're just kind of guesstimating. Even when there's cautions, there's no like leaderboard, so you can't really tell exactly where you're at in the running order. There's no way to really tell if we could take the wave around either. Just saw another driver in the pit, so I think we're seeing our 4th set of pit stops today. Now, David Reagan is a driver that Christopher Bell is able to keep up with, and which is actually pretty good for Bell because Reagan's in 17th. So, again, he's got top 20 speed even with the wrecked race car. He's going to be fighting for every position. All these points could stack up here to the end of the regular season. You don't know how things are going to go. He's got no drafting help behind him right now, and he is staying in front of that 36 car. Little bump draft to the back of Reagan. Reagan's coming into the pits. That actually didn't slow Bell down at all. He got to the high side just in time. Watching the traffic coming out of the pit lane much as he possibly can. Now, because Bell just pitted about 8, 9, 10 laps ago, he definitely is going to be able to stay out, again, as long as he stays out of trouble, which he has not been able to do during any one of these fuel stints in this race for the AI. Trying not to hit the wall down the straightaways. That's going to make things a little worse. Yeah, exactly. At least you can actually attempt to do the wave around like this. If you stay out of the pits, you don't even know if anybody else stays out of the pits. So I'm just going to assume that they're going to pit at lap 20, whether it's under caution or under green. And I'm going to bank on that being the case. So I'm going to make my decisions on when to pit based off of that. So if we do end up getting a caution, I'm going to assume, unless it's right around lap 100, or in between lap 90 and lap 100, they haven't made the next stop. Whoa, whoa. What is Matt DiBenedetto doing there? He just squeezed the 20. Well, I tried to get him back. Christopher Bell tried to turn Matt DiBenedetto back. DiBenedetto just put Christopher Bell in the wall down the back straightaway for no apparent reason. DiBenedetto was just trying to get up to speed. Bell was obviously faster. Now Bell's lost his momentum as Austin Dillon flies by. That was uncalled for. I'll remember that one. Bell tried to turn down on Matt DiBenedetto there going into turn 3, but just kind of missed him. My Packers are going to have a hard time against the Cardinals tonight. Not only the Cardinals are the best team in the league, but Packers are missing 3 key players due to COVID, and 2 of them are their best wide receivers. Alan Lazard and, most importantly, Devontae Adams. But Kenny Clark's out on defense, too, or nose tackle. One of our better guys on defense. Number 1 receiver tonight, Scantling. I bet Scantling catches 1 or 2 deep passes. I don't know if they'll be for touchdowns, but I'm sure he'll get at least 1 touchdown tonight. And then in the red zone, look out for Robert Tonyan, tight end, which is actually good because I have him on my fantasy team. So maybe he'll actually get something going. He scored a touchdown last week, too, Tonyan did. So maybe looking hot with the Packers offense. But I expect the Cardinals to probably win this one easily tonight. I don't think the Packers are going to... I mean, I can see them keeping it somewhat competitive. I don't think they're going to lose by more than 20 points, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost by like 2 touchdowns or lost by like a touchdown field goal, 10 points or something. They'll probably keep it competitive until they absolutely can. Aaron Rodgers can only do so much, but they'll probably rely on Aaron Jones quite a bit too. Aaron Jones might see some receiving touchdowns on some short dump-offs. He could break away. Remember, Bakhtiari's still out too for the Packers, as he has been the whole season up to this point too, and he's our best. I mean, he's the blind side. He's the left tackle for Green Bay. So it definitely hurts them as well. Here comes race leader Denny Hamlin. Maybe Joe Gibbs Racing could go to victory lane somehow today. We know it's likely not going to be Christopher Bell, but Denny Hamlin's still leading this race. We are logging in laps. Bell trying to hold on to his current lap here. Timmy Hill behind him. Can the AI actually DNF too? Does anybody know? Like, can the AI sustain too much damage to where they have to park it for the rest of the race? Because if that's the case, Hamlin's got a lot of damage right now. And I don't know how he's as fast as he is with all the damage, but we have about just as much damage, maybe a little bit more, but Jones has to be careful. I keep saying Jones. Got NASCAR Heat 5 stuck in my head. Christopher Bell's got to be careful with the blocking going on there down the back straightaway. The MBM 66 of Timmy Hill and the Rick Ware Racing 52 of Josh Galicki. Both cars are not even on the same lap as him, as Christopher Bell has gained another spot. Somewhere on this racetrack, he's moved up to 24th again. Again, so he is making up ground, even wrecking a couple times after the fact. Oh, Scantling's out too? They cut ties with Equanimity St. Brown, so he's kind of... I thought it was Lazard. I thought Lazard and Adams were out. When did they announce Scantling out? If they announced it today, I probably missed it. Oh, I cut down right in front of... Oh, what a save! Oh, I overcorrected it. It looked like Christopher Bell had the car saved. Stop. Why does it spin like that? It's like you're trying to get back into the gas, and it just like spins an extra time or two. Stop doing this. That was a bad block gone wrong there for Christopher Bell. He seems to be stuck in the grass. May have a tire down again. I'm not entirely sure. If he does not have a tire down, he will keep it out on the racetrack. Tire is down. So he will come into the pits right now. I can kind of tell the way he was wanting to drift up the racetrack again. So again, Bell is not able to get off strategy with the leaders. He may make it on just 2 more pit stops the rest of this race from here on out. Which is going to be the plan. Yeah, Randall Cobb's definitely going to get more. I did see J.J. Watt is out, yes. Out for the rest of the year, in fact. Yeah, the only thing the spotter really does is... I mean, it does give you a lot of information, just not the information needed majority of the time. So Bell is still running pretty good on the racetrack. He didn't lose a position in that entire transition. That right front tire going down again. He hasn't really lost any extra speed here. Here goes Kevin Harvick in second place. Again, I believe Denny Hamlin is the leader still. How about Cody Ware up to 13th, surviving the carnage right now? Ryan Newman in 12th. Chase Elliott back there in 30s, about, man, almost 10 seconds behind Harvick even, but it looks like Elliott's got some drafting help back there. What is Eric trying to prove? I have no clue. He has been doing that since, like, the first pit stop in this race today. About lap 20, lap 19. He's been stuck this whole race doing that. But he's not going to be a good finish in the Daytona 500 for Eric Almirola. Yo, Mama, welcome to the stream. Yeah, that defense definitely going to have to step up tonight, though. Yeah, I did not realize Scantling was out. He's our deep threat, too. He's typically our deep threat anyway. Usually Rogers likes to throw 1 or 2 just streak passes over the middle of the field to him throughout the course of a game. Well, obviously that's going to be gone. Come on, Tanya. It's on my fantasy team. If he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns, that'd be nice. I picked up Amari Cooper this week. I also picked up, who else did I pick up? Kenyon Drake, but he's on a bye. He's trying to draft with Chase Elliott right now. He's having a hard time trying to get to 180 miles an hour without the draft. All the damage to the race car. I'm surprised this thing is still running. I don't know any cars on the field that don't have damage. It doesn't look like the 42 of Ross Chastain's got any damage. He's up to 12. And no, never mind. He does have damage. I don't think there's a single car in the field without damage. No damage to the front of Justin Haley in the 77. Hard to tell if he's got any damage to the rear of his race car. They're going to pull up to the high side and block him. He's going to have to be careful. Pulling off some blocks. Contact with Ryan Newman. Sad part is I'm not even attempting a side draft in this game. A little bit better of a run, though, down the back straightaway that time for Christopher Bell. They're side by side, not really pulling away from him. And again, if he could just kind of cling onto a draft like this consistently, that's going to be the best thing for him. Let the cars in front of him in the pack race each other and just kind of stay on the inside as much as you can. Still side by side between Chastain, Kurt Busch. Those two are Chip Ganassi Racing teammates. Side drafting each other quite a bit. Allowing the 20 of Christopher Bell to get a pretty big run going for himself. Bell going to pull back down to the bottom in front of Ryan Newman. 42, Ross Chastain going to pull down right in front of the 20, stacking up the inside. Daniel Suarez to the high side. Suarez in the top 5 and 5th. Survived the day, the opening race ever for Trackhouse Racing in the 99. On this custom schedule season. I'm trying to read the comments as much as I can, but any little contact spins the car out, even at Daytona, with what we've seen, especially with the damage. I don't think it would have done that as much if we didn't have severe damage. The bumpers are not aligning correctly anymore. If you're talking about the whiteouts out, yeah, I did see that. BM&J, welcome to the stream as well. Benedetto pulling down to the inside. Benedetto put the 20 Christopher Bell into the wall a little earlier. Bell has not forgotten. The only thing is, I'm scared if I try to spin him out that we're going to spin out too. I don't think it's going to be a clean wreck avoidance. They have to save that for Coda if we catch him or something. The next race of the season. So again, on fuel, Christopher Bell should be able to make it on 2 stops. But he has to survive the carnage, which he has failed to up to this point. Just had another car pull into the pits. It's just a matter of, are these drivers that are possibly ending their days, are they in front of Bell already, or are they behind him? Down to the bottom. Good lane change that time to stay from the pack for Bell. Where he feels more comfortable is at the front of the pack, even if it is a smaller pack and it's not even the lead pack. We're battling up for position with the leaders. In the field, pits every 17 to 19 laps. Is 20 at the very most is what it seems like. I did not do that. Wow, what a save by Christopher Bell. What a save into turn 1 at Daytona as he got clipped by the 77 car of Justin Haley. I know he's got a wrecked race car, but that might be the save of the year. A bump from behind there from Alex Bowman. Michael McDowell, he turns the 20. McDowell has turned Christopher Bell down to the inside of the racetrack. First, Justin Haley did it, and Bell saved it off of turn 2. But now down the back straightaway, it was Michael McDowell who just flat out turned the 20 of Bell. Tire down again on the 20, and that is a second wreck that has not been his fault today. The bumpers cannot align on that 20 car with the damage. So much for making it on 2 more stops. Bell just pitted about 9 laps ago. Been a sad night for Christopher Bell. It's almost kind of our NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 luck whenever we go to Daytona. We've never won at Daytona in that game either. It looks like we're about to be 0 for 1 in NASCAR 21 Ignition. Almirola still pulling up, backing into his pit box. That's Justin Haley right behind the 20 of Christopher Bell as they're trying to get up to speed here in the Daytona 500. Matt DiBenedetto, Michael McDowell. Definitely have another thing coming. McDowell's in the top 10 right now, too. He's running in the 8th spot. Ryan Blaney, who was back outside the top 20 earlier, is up to 9th with damage. AI can DNF. All right, that's cool. Arby's is so good. Arby's is pretty good. Now, why can't I wreck anybody? Haley tried dumping us before McDowell actually dumped us. Oh, somebody just... Oh, there's a wreck down the back straightaway. Somebody helped us out. Similar to what happened when DiBenedetto squeezed... Oh, there's 3 cars wrecked now in turn 3. Good miss down to the inside of the track for Christopher Bell. Justin Haley got squeezed in the wall by the car coming out of the pit lane, who I couldn't tell exactly who it was that was coming out of the pit lane, but he just squeezed him into the wall, and then he ended up wrecking. Again, very similar to when Matt DiBenedetto squeezed the 20th Bell into the wall, only they didn't wreck when that happened. I may turn the damage off on the short tracks racing like this, but at least the intermediates and the super speedways, road courses, I've got to keep it on. Keep some sort of realism in it. Because if I make a mistake myself and I hit the wall, I want there to be at least a punishment for it. Even if it's punishing me tonight for it being everybody else's fault, I don't think that will be the case all season. Especially as the patches come throughout the course of the year. Still no yellow. No, that is now what, the seventh accident of the race, and keeping track. We have not had a caution for any single one of them. Bell's still running in 24th, although he pitted not that long ago. Still have other drivers making some green flag stops as it is. But Justin Haley up to the 20th position. $17 likes on the stream right now. We're not even halfway home, so thanks for everybody hitting that like button. Make sure you do so if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Sorry for any of you that wanted to leave a super chat again tonight or something. I was having issues earlier today trying to get monetization on for when I was setting up the stream earlier this morning, so for whatever reason, not able to do it for tonight's stream. But I appreciate the support, as always, from you guys by simply just watching these races. And as you can see tonight, this is just the first of what is going to be a very chaotic season with these full race live streams, both with this and the career mode. Career mode races will mostly be premiered. Not all of them, but most of them will be. And they'll be chopped up into 30, 40-minute highlight videos of the full races. As far as the custom schedule season, and then when we get to season 2 goes, they will all be live streamed. So that's why this Daytona 500 under custom schedule season of the NASCAR 21 Ignition video game is going to be live streamed, and is live streamed right now. Like to subscribe. Thanks, William. Yeah, as far as this race goes, or the season I should say goes, I know what you might be thinking if you have the game, or maybe don't have the game, is wait, there's a custom schedule, or wait, there's a season. I am on a PS4, but I am just creating my own season. We're doing race now. We're keeping track of the points ourselves. It's an easy points format to be able to keep track of, especially with no stages. It'll be a lot easier to keep track of for this first season. So our second race of the year will be at COTA, hopefully tomorrow night, as long as I'm not having any major bugging issues Obviously, we're having major bugging issues today, but, you know, that's just going to be the course of the season. I mean, actually being able to play the race without something happening, which really the last 2 nights has been the case, where I've not been able to do the Daytona 500 until tonight because the game kept crashing or bugging out. So as long as we don't have those types of issues before I go live, plan on NASCAR 21 Ignition being the live streams. As far as that goes, though, if we do have any bugging issues, we'll just run NASCAR 05 for that night and postpone the race. I like keeping a weekly streaming schedule, as you guys can check every Monday in the community tab. I might not be keeping those up the next couple weeks until this game gets fixed enough to the point where I can rely on scheduling to run NASCAR 21 Ignition more consistently. But our next race this season is at COTA. Career mode, obviously, we haven't launched yet. Daytona 500 will be the first race there. No, you can't make a custom schedule in this game. I'm just doing it myself. No, the only game modes on this game are career mode, race now, which is this essentially, and online. Those are literally the only 3 game modes. Then you got a paint booth, but that's not really a game mode that you can actually race on. And no challenges, no championship mode or season mode. We are just past the halfway mark. Again, Bell is either, if I'm going to guesstimate, anywhere between 4 to 6 laps down right now, especially with Denny Hamlin, the race leader, closing in. To the back of his teammate. About 1 second behind Bell right now going into turn 1. We are just past the halfway mark in the Daytona 500. Bell's just going to get blown around by another car. I mean, he is going even slower after the most recent accident compared to the accidents leading up to it. And Matt DiBenedetto in 5th. I haven't forgotten about him yet. We're going to retaliate on him if we ever get the chance. Brooklyn Rye, welcome to the stream. 20 likes now on the stream. Thanks for everybody hitting their like button. Helps me out a ton. The car Kyle Larson had early on, I am shocked that he is even behind us in the running order. Bell just picked up another spot. He's up to 23rd. We might have had another driver DNF. Bell might survive to get a top 20 after all. Knowing that half of this race is still to go, we still have cars dropping out from time to time. Problem is, he's just got nobody to race around. There's nobody behind him within his position. There's nobody in front of him within his position. Just basically relying on DNFs at this point and hoping that he can make the rest of this race on 2 more pit stops, which he should be able to do. I don't see why he can't go about 40 laps into a run to be able to make it on 2 stops, and the field is pitting within every 20 laps. So he should make up a couple laps that way. Maybe he can get inside the top 20 because of that as well. Top 15, we'll just have to wait and see. He's got a really slow car, though. He's definitely not going to help things. Pull up in front of the 66. It'll be a little easier to block Timmy Hill, so he's not going to worry about getting turned by him. Hill's not worried about it. There are more cars catching up in the pack, though, so I mean, at some point I'll have to let him go, but I really wish there was a rearview mirror. When you're off the pace like this, it would help a ton. Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman closing in. I thought Blaney was going to drill us. I don't know why I got out of the gas. I saw Blaney coming in. I was the one who lifted. That probably wasn't a wise decision. Blaney lifted in time, though. 66 and Timmy Hill pulls back down to the bottom in front of Bell. Contact between Ryan Blaney and Ryan Newman off the exit of turn 2 very briefly there. Ooh, kind of knocked the 20 of Bell out of the way. Laney inside the top 10, so is Daniel Suarez. Alex Bowman racing around the high side. There's Michael McDowell. A little shot there from the 42 of Ross Chastain. Big block down to the WL line for Bowman on top of Michael McDowell. Well, gaining a little bit of speed down into turn 1 this time. He got a little bit of a draft off the cars in front of him. I think that push off turn 4 from Ross Chastain helped him out. Definitely risky with all the damage. Pushes are not going to come very gracefully. Chastain just ran into the side of Christopher Bell. Bell just gets down to the bottom now in front of the 78. BJ McLeod. I have my phone right next to me that gives me scoring alerts and stuff. And honestly, I'll probably end up under the next pit stop turning the game on my phone so I could. Well, that's probably not a good idea to glance over considering this game, any game in general. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching that tonight, staying up to watch it, even though I got to work tomorrow. I only got to work one day and then I leave for Martinsville, so it's not that bad. Having the day off. Bell was staying to the high side. Eric Jones almost gets into the left rear of the car on his outside. It's James Davidson up there. Davidson at 22nd is at least one full lap ahead of the 20 of Christopher Bell now. Bell's got a lot of pressure behind him. Josh Bilicki and David Reagan. So many drivers on so many different laps right now. I mean, literally, I don't think there's a single car racing for position. Caution-free Daytona 500. I feel like we're going to have a lot of caution-free races this season. Bell's got to be careful, swaying back and forth. Costed him once already. Now David Reagan's the only car behind him, so it might be a little easier. Reagan behind him in 15th. Josh Bilicki in front of him in 18th. Looks like he's kind of keeping up with Bilicki somewhat. Yeah, even if they do add stages, unless it's like mandatory that you can't turn them off, we're just going to have to run with them off for the first season because I don't want to change the point system in the middle of the season. Careful, key guys. I'm so scared to go blow another tire. I keep doing that. Man, looked like there was some more contact in turns 3 and 4 up ahead. David Reagan, Josh Bilicki. Looked like a little more than just side drafting. Yeah, I don't know how many of the AI have DNF'd. I mean, we're in 23rd, and you can tell we're pretty far off the pace. There's 2 cars wrecked on pit road. We got Almirola wrecked, and there's another car down there wrecked. They'll just pit about lap 88, 89. So he could still go about another 20 to 25 laps on fuel. Again, that's if we can go 40 laps. I'm just guesstimating that 40 laps is about our window. And all of a sudden, I think these two made contact up ahead because they slowed each other up quite a bit, more than just side drafting. That Christopher Bell now is pulling ever so closer to both Josh Bilicki and David Reagan. Reagan not pitting. I think Bell will take any sort of extra speed he can get at this point in the race. Our crew chief just said hit pit road in a few laps. I don't know why. We can't be low on fuel. I mean, we've only ran like 20 laps. By the way, there's supposed to be day to night transitions in this game. Has anybody noticed if there has been any extra cloud coverage since the start of this race? We're over halfway in now, and I haven't really noticed anything. Yeah, I don't know why the crew chief's saying hit pit road in a few laps. Second lap in a row, he's mentioned something about it. I just don't see... We've got to make it further than this. We literally just pit at lap 88, 89. I know the rest of the AI is pit between 17 to 19 laps. But if you mean to tell me in this game that the fuel window is like 20 laps at Daytona in the full race, you know, why is that the case? And if that is the case, I'm not taking tire. This is where there needs to be telemetry. Needs to be. Inexcusable not to have telemetry. Josh Malicki was coming into the pits that time. He backed off quite a bit off the exit of turn 4. When Half just coming out of the pit lane. Only notice a glitch when I pause the game and then unpause the race, but that's it. Okay, well, maybe I won't pause it. It's probably a better idea not to pause the game. I usually don't anyway, but I think with this game, knowing its glitches, we're already past halfway through this race, so let's just get to the end. I know it's been a train wreck, but get to the end, get this first race in the books, and take it one race at a time, one night at a time. Now Balicki's coming in the pits. I think he wanted to pit the lap before, and he broke a little too late or something. We haven't seen anybody wrecking coming out of the pit lane in a while. Harvick makes the pass on Chase Elliott for second place. They're battling for position as they were closing in on the 20. Christopher Bell. Harvick used Bell as a pick. They were side by side. No real way for Christopher Bell to get out of the way. There goes Elliott on the high side now down the back straightaway. Don't do that. Car. What just happened? Did we blow a tire before we hit the wall? Oh, there's another crash. Somebody else just spun in the middle of 3 and 4. It's like there's oil on the track or something. Severe damage for Bell again. He's up to 22nd. Bell was not the only one that wiped out there. There was another car that wiped out. Oh, we got another car wiping out coming into the pits. Oh, more cars are spinning. There's fluid everywhere on the racetrack. That's about 4 cars that have spun within turns 3 and 4. I don't know what's going on. The pace car's like halfway into the pit lane. No cautions. Again. I don't know if our tire... Like, we hit the wall down the back straightaway and the car just kind of stayed on the wall. Our crew chief was saying to pit within a few more laps, but I don't know if we, like, blew a tire or what the issue was there. Get out the grinder. First time we've seen the saw in the race today. Going to work on the left front. Even though we hit the right front, but... Almirola still accomplishing absolutely nothing in his pit box. Scored 30 seconds somehow. We got cars coming up side by side. One of them was race leader Denny Hamlin. They'll make sure that he was going to stay out of his teammates' way at the very least there. let's see, no damage repair. And then we're going to take right sides only under the next stop. I don't know if we blew a right front tire. What happened there? I have no clue. I mean, there's no telemetry. So, and I'm going based off of like any other NASCAR game that is typically about 35, 40, 45 laps on fuel. I have no clue. Get out the barrel. Eric's still angry. Yes, he is. Angry at something. Bell is up to 22nd, though. We saw one car spin behind us, which I believe was Josh Balicki in turns 3 and 4. And then we saw 2 more cars spin coming into the pit lane. So again, I'm not sure what was going on there. But I spun 2 kind of on my own, which at Daytona is not normal. And I don't know if I had a tire going down or why the car decided to just spin randomly. Doesn't really make much sense. Man, this has just been a wild, wild race. I don't know how we're going to walk away with a 22nd place finish. We'll probably walk away with a better than 22nd place finish as long as we don't DNF. As far as we know, Denny Hamlin is leading this race, and he's trying to go for his 4th career Daytona 500 victory. Looking for possibly a history-making day in this NASCAR 21 Ignition Daytona 500. Mark Truex Jr. scored 24th right now. Is there a wreck in front of us? All these intervals are changing all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. That leaderboard is going nuts right now. It's like we're passing cars, but we're not actually passing cars. But the intervals are getting smaller. Oh! And now Eric Jones has just turned Christopher Bell. Hold the brakes, hold the brakes, hold the brakes.
We're disqualified. Come on.
Well, I guess we just got DQ'd for some reason. What? Does anybody know how we got DQ'd? I don't know what this race was. I mean, Eric Jones turned us. And then we just disqualified. We got DQ'd for some reason. What was this race? 37th. NASCAR 21 Ignition Daytona 500, ladies and gentlemen. Denny Hamlin with the win. Deserving. At least it didn't randomize the finishing order. A lot of the guys that were running up towards the front did finish there. And Denny Hamlin will win the NASCAR 21 Ignition Custom Scheduled Daytona 500. 4th career Daytona 500 win for Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick finishes 2nd. Chase Elliott 3rd. Austin Dillon 4th. Matt DiBenedetto rounds out the top 5. Eric Jones 6th. Daniel Suarez 7th. Michael McDowell 8th. Ryan Blaney 9th. Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10. We had a lot of DNFs in today's race. So we were scored 22nd at one point. So that tells me that everybody from Truex on back DNF'd before us. And then Kurt Busch ended up DNFing later in the race. I think Bubba Wallace and William Byron were stuck in their pit box behind Almirola. So that's why it says they finished, even though they weren't actually on the track. Same goes for Stenhouse. I think those are the 3 drivers around him. And then it says Almirola DNF'd to 31st. I didn't drive backwards, though. I spun. And I didn't even spin. Eric Jones spun. That was the 3rd time in the race I got spun out by somebody. Almost the 4th time, but I saved it when... who hit us into turn 1 earlier in the race that we saved it? Justin Haley, that's right. Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Justin Haley, Chris Babella, Quinn Houck, Joey Gase, Chris Buescher, Cole Custer, Kaz Grala, Eric Almirola, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Martin Truex Jr., and Kurt Busch all DNF. It's a new record as far as the channel goes for most DNFs in a race. Only 19 drivers DNF'd, only 21 actually finished the race. And Denny Hamlin's margin of victory was 1 lap over Kevin Harvick. I mean, it's going to be one of those seasons where I think the championship is just out of my control. I think winning a championship is going to be out of my control this season. Making the playoffs will be out of my control this season. We're either going to do it or we're not. Oh, I need to take a... Hang on. Give me a second. I got to pause the stream and try to... Oh, my phone's dead. I didn't take a picture of the finishing results for the points' sake, but as far as this race goes, that was just nutty. That stinks because it probably, I mean, by ways of how Kurt Busch DNF, we should have finished, and we were ahead of James Davidson too, so we probably should have finished 20th. We should have finished top 20 in this race, and we finished 37 because the game DNQ'd us for some reason, even though Eric Jones was the one that spun us. So, Eric Jones, Matt DiBenedetto, and Michael McDowell, at some point in time, they're going to have some payback coming their way. All I'm going to say. Man, that's a bad way to end this one, but this is going to be the season. This is NASCAR 21 Ignition in a nutshell. This is the game. This is how the season's going to be. This is how the career mode's going to be. This is how everything's going to be with this game on the PS4. It could get better throughout the... I think it will sporadically increase in gameplay as this season progresses. And I think we'll slowly see that as the season progresses with every patch that comes out. But for right now, beginning of the season, it's going to be god-awful. And then we get halfway through the year, it'll be better, but it's still not going to be good. By the end of the season, it'll be bearable, but it's not going to be perfect. That's kind of my take on what this custom schedule season is going to be and really beyond with this game, honestly. I don't think there's any complete way that they can fix the game. We are still not 3 nights. I've had this game for 3 days, and I have not completed a race yet. Never completed a race. Between the glitching issues we had with the game crashing every 15, 20 minutes the first 2 nights, and then tonight it DNQ'd us for some reason. But we'll be off Dakota. We'll hope for the best then. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. Again, if it's not NASCAR 21 Ignition, it'll be the Dover Chase race on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. I'll see you guys tomorrow, though, regardless. Be on the lookout. Hit that notification button so you guys don't miss an upload. And so you guys know exactly what game we're playing. But I won't know until the night of because this game could be, crashing on me every 15 minutes again when I get home from work tomorrow. So just be on the lookout. Thanks, everybody, for your support, as always. Catch you tomorrow.